So if you watched the game on Sunday, you know quarterback Jayden Daniels put the league on notice with his running ability, with rushing over 16 times, 88 yards, and 2 touchdowns. However, after the game, Quinn talked to the media and said that he would like to see his QB1 remain pass first. Let's talk about it.
The way that we live is not for everybody. We're going to run and put our bodies on people in a violent manner.
You know what time it is. It's time to come out.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We are the Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with a video where we're going to be talking about Quinn talking about his quarterback one and how he would like to see him remain pass first. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Well, before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos like this to the channel. We're on the road to 8,000 subscribers, so please help me get there as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Let's get straight to it. So today is the 23rd anniversary of 9/11. And although that is a dark time in America's history, it's so recent that when I talk about it and I'm so intrigued and interested in it, I always like to hear people's stories that were alive during those times. Obviously, I wasn't born. So if you could do me a favor and share your thoughts down below on your experience with 9/11, where were you at? What happened? How did the rest of the time look? What was that whole just time period like? Leave it down below in the comment section. And I think it touches a lot of people in these parts a little bit more because we're in the DMV area, and obviously we know the Pentagon was one of the attacks. So with me not being alive during those times, but me also wanting to know more about my history and, paying the respects to the first responders and the people that were, in that unfortunate incident, leave it down below in the comment section of your personal experience, and I would love to read it because I know it was a dark time and tough time for us, and I know, honestly speaking, it's going to always be an unfortunate event in America's history. So leave it down below in the comment section. Let's get to it, though. So Quinn had a press conference yesterday, and you could honestly already know what a lot of the questions were going to be about. It's going to be about quarterback Jayden Daniels. So Quinn didn't come out and say he doesn't want to see Jayden Daniels running the ball. No. What he did come out and say is that he wants him to remain a pass first quarterback. A lot of his courage to me came because the pocket was breaking down. A lot of his courage came to me because nobody was getting open that not named Terry McLaurin or Zach Ertz. So he did what he does best. He relied on his natural ability to run the ball. And although it was exciting in the moment, I picked up on it, other fans picked up on it, and Quinn picked up on it. If you watch that Tampa Bay Bucks game back, if it wasn't Jayden Daniels running around like he's in the backyard with his legs, we probably wouldn't have had a single point. Protection wasn't as good as I thought because he had to bail because of the pressure. He couldn't really sit back there all the time because the line was getting beat like a drum at times, and no one was getting open. And also, let's just call a spade a spade. It was his first game. So obviously he probably was a little nervous. He probably didn't go through his reads as thoroughly as he should. He did miss Terry McLaurin on a wide open, would have been touchdown in my opinion. He had his moments himself. But a lot of the reason why he carried the ball so many times is because that's all we had on offense. If I could remember correctly, there weren't a lot of designed runs for Jayden Daniels. There were a couple, but a lot of them that bulk of his curries was on him, had dropping back to pass and couldn't find anything, so he resorted to what he knows best, which is his legs. So I agree with Quinn. We drafted him to be a quarterback, to throw the ball that also can run. See, when you are multi-dimensional, or you can do more than one thing. That's what kills a defense. Do you know how many times a quarterback like Josh Allen kills a defense because he has the ability to throw the ball really well, but if you slip up and try to be so hard on the pass, he can kill you for a 25-yard gain on the ground with his legs. That's because he's dimensional. He's two-dimensional. He's multi-talented. If he was just one dimensional, if he couldn't throw the ball and they could just all they had to do was rely on his running ability, they would box that up. And I think that's what Dan Quinn is hinting at. He doesn't want Jayden Daniels to just result solely on his legs because he doesn't want him to become one dimensional and the offense to be pretty much stale. It's not trying to change his game style. It's not trying to change his game plan. It's not trying to change how he is as a quarterback. Just find a healthy balance of running the ball with your legs and also being a passer. But then also on the flip side of that, it was natural instinct. Let's be real. I'm giving y'all the truth of how I feel with Dan Quinn is coming from, but I'm also a person that sees it from both sides and see the reality of the sitch. It was natural instinct. You really think Jayden Daniels wanted to run out the pocket all those times? You know what I'm saying? Probably not. He probably really wanted to stand in there and go through his progressions and read and find an open target and be a passer of the football. But he couldn't because there was no protection all the time. No receivers were getting open, right? Running game up the middle was getting boxed. We had him run a QB power. I don't want that for him. I ain't gonna lie. Not all the time. I ain't gonna sit up here and say, because Dan Quinn basically was like he didn't want him to do it no time. I'm not gonna sit up here and say I don't want to do it no times because and LSU, you seen, and I get college, NFL, two different leagues. But at LSU, he's had plays where he ran a QB power up the middle, and his vision was so good that he cut it back and took it to the house. I don't want to not run QB powers because I don't want that to not be in the offense. I want it to just be sparingly, right? Because he could be on some Lamar Jackson 2019-ish versus the Bengals where he ran up the middle, cut it back, and took it to the crib. He could do that. So you don't want to take that from him. You don't want to take his game from him. You remember, kind of similar, not similar all the way, but kind of similar to how last year's regime would always say Sam Howell holds onto the ball too much. He needs to get the ball out. He needs to get the ball out. He needs to make his reads faster and not take so many hits and stuff like that. So or move around the pocket, dancing around the pocket, trying to find a play, just find somebody. That's where Sam Howell then went downhill because he's like, okay, y'all keep beating into my head. Don't move around. Don't be a playmaker. Just find somebody. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. So that's when Sam Howell regressed. I don't want that for Jayden Daniels. I don't want him to take this the wrong way. He's not trying to say that being Dan Quinn not run the ball when you get the opportunity, but he's just saying that we have you here to be the quarterback of this team and to win us games on your arm, not your legs all the time. That's a good asset, right? But we don't want you to be that guy that's going to take 16 carries. That's literally what a running back was for, right? 7, 8, cool. But 16, I ain't gonna lie. I feel him. Because not only does Jayden Daniels need to tighten his helmet, he could also take a big hit, and we don't want that. We don't want that. And we obviously don't want the other outcome. So you have to find a healthy balance if I'm Cliff Kingsbury moving forward. To allow Jayden Daniels to use his leg ability, run ability, but also make the game easy for him. That's what the thing that I felt like the Blast regime didn't do for Sam Howell was make the game easy for him, right? Everything was so vertically down the field, deep shots. Like, no, make it simple. Screens, drags, slants, get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. Terry McLaurin, end around. There's no reason Terry McLaurin should have one target going into halftime and only one catch on the day or two catches on the day. End arounds, just anything to get the ball in the hands of your playmakers, right? We have the talent on this team that can do things. Is it the best? No, it is not. Far from the best, right? Lamar Zaccheaus, Luke McCaffrey, all right, Dommy Brown. Let's be real. Like, that's not the best. But you talk all offseason long about how confident you are in De'Ami Brown's ability to perform, confident in Luke McCaffrey as the young fella. You trade Jahan Dotson away because you feel like, again, DB2 was going to take that next leap. Where was he at on Sunday? We got to find a way to implement our guys in this game plan. Even if it's not a freaking non-route or a corner or a post, you can get De'Ami Brown isolated on the boundary for a quick little hitch curl route like you did in the preseason. You can get De'Ami Brown a screen. You can give De'Ami Brown a out route. Like, you could do so much other that doesn't require it being a 35-yard gain on one. It's nothing wrong with taking the 7-yard, 6-yard, 5-yard, just slowly marching it down the field. And in fact, I would love a slow, methodical drive because you're killing two birds with one stone. You're taking time off the clock and trying to score. And then you're leaving your opponent with not that much time left. So if we could just stretch the game out until we get them players alongside Terry McLaurin that could go, 1 play, 2 play, 3 play touchdown drives. Just stretch the game out and play to your advantage. If that's running the ball to the outside and not forcing feeding it up the middle, find that. You know what I'm saying? If that's a dump off to Austin Eckler for a gain of 6.5, that's cool. Stay ahead of the sticks, right? That's what they love to say. Stay ahead of the sticks. Take what the defense is giving you, right? So I'm not really frustrated or upset with the team right now. Not until after Sunday's results. If we lose to the Giants, because Giants are horrible. If we lose to the Giants again, that's when I'm gonna be upset. But right now it's week 1. You don't want to overreact, but you also want to just remain realistic and truthful. You know what I'm saying? That's why I come on here and say my opinions all the time, is because I'm a fan at the end of the day, and I'm going to tell you how I feel from a fan standpoint. But at the end of the day, I'm going to also give you the other side of it, because it's always 2-3 sides to a story. So that's why on one hand, I understand where Dan Quinn is coming from and wanting Jayden Daniels to remain a pass first quarterback. But on the flip side, I also understand where Jayden Daniels is coming from too, where he's like, hey man, it was nothing back here. So I'm going to run off, take off, and try to do what's best for the team. If that's running the ball with my legs right now, that's so be it, right? I get it. I understand it. And I also understand that it's probably his first game, so he didn't go through his reads as thoroughly as possible. And then maybe even Cliff didn't have the best play calling at times, because that play that got Terry McLaurin open, we did not go back to that. I don't know why we didn't. We didn't find ways to get, again, De'Ami Brown the ball. So we have a lot to be better at as a whole. And I couldn't think of a more better opponent. So with that being said, let me know what you guys thought about this video in the comment section down below. Don't forget to use my promo code JuanGotti on SeatGeek to get $20 off your first purchase. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We want to road to 8,000 subscribers, so it would be greatly appreciated if you haven't reached that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Y'all have a blessed one. Stay safe. Be easy. Peace.